Hi, and welcome to another video by Get It Done Home Repairs.
In today's project, we're going to be replacing the rear parking brakes on this particular 2019 Hyundai Santa Fe. Now, if you're looking at this video, I'm sure you realize that this has a retractable parking brake that you need to set into service mode first. I will tell you this, don't play around like you see a lot of these guys, these backyard mechanics doing, getting in here, unplugging this harness, and then connecting wires into it to get the piston to retract and to reset the way it's supposed to. Don't play around like that. You don't want to damage the electronics in this unit here, or God forbid, you make a mistake and you backfeed power and you fry the computer in the vehicle. Don't take a chance with that. You can pick up a scan tool, relatively easy, and basically what it does, it plugs up underneath the dashboard. I'm going to bring you in there. I'm going to show you the one that I use here at home so you'll have an idea of how inexpensive something like this is. I'm pretty sure that I don't even know what I paid for it. I've had it for so many years that I'll do for neighbors in the area. I'll scan their car with it or something like that to find out what's going on for them without having to bring it down to my shop. This one here, I think it cost me maybe $100, $150, and it does basically everything you can think of. It connects up to your phone, and you download the app to your phone, free lifetime upgrades and all that kind of stuff. So it's a relatively inexpensive investment that you can use on any car, foreign or American, it doesn't really matter. All right, I'll show you what it is. This one is made by a company, I think it's called X-Tool, but I'll show you a picture of it, what it looks like. It's been a long time since I've actually used it, and I'll show you how that works, and then we're going to get this job done. All right, so enough talking, let's get in here. I'm going to explain to you what we're going to do, and then we're going to get this job done, and then we'll take it for a road test to make sure that it stops after we do the job. All right, let's get started. This is the tool that I was telling you about. This one here is made by a company called X-Tool. It's an A30D, and what this basically does is it goes underneath the dashboard. Right up underneath here, you have your OBD connector. I don't know if you can see that, but it's right up inside here. I know it's kind of dark. We just plug this in, just like that. All of our lights come on, so we know that everything is functioning just the way it's supposed to. All right, next thing we do is we get in the vehicle, of course. Let's close the door so it's a little quieter for you. We're going to turn the key to the on position. And let's turn this on now. All right, I'm hoping you can see what I'm doing here. We have the key to the on position right now. We're going to go to Hyundai. I hope you can see that, okay? We're going to do the automatic detection. General. That's the vehicle we're working on. Fairly simple once you get into this, just so you know. Whether it's a Hyundai, a Toyota, whatever you're working on, a General Motors vehicle, anything, it's fairly easy. And we're going to go into it right here. Brake change mode. Just press that button. You can read through all of this here. Basically what it's telling you to do is once you enter this mode, it's going to retract the piston on the parking brake or the electronic parking brake. It's going to retract it. After you're finished and everything is done, you'll need to come back in here and apply the parking brake 3 times to take it out of service mode. All right, so this is what we're going to do now. You can see the dashboard right there. We're going to press this button right here just so you can see it retract, or hear it retract, I should say. And now you see it's into the, it has been completed, and it's in the retracted mode right now. All right, so we're going to go OK. And now we can just leave it just like this, and you can see on the dashboard our brake light is flashing, which means that it's now in this service mode, which means the parking brake is retracted. Turn the key off, take it out of the vehicle, and now we go outside and we do the brakes like a normal brake job. Okay, before we go any further, I want to give you an example of what you're going to need to get this job done. Of course, we're going to need new brake pads. We're going to need the new hardware for the brake pads. We're going to need new spreader clips. We're going to need a pair of needle nose pliers, a small screwdriver or a scribe, a pry bar, a ratchet with a 14mm socket, and possibly a 17mm wrench. And of course we're going to need some brake lube. All right, so what we're going to do first now is we're going to commit. This is now actually deactivated. Yes, you can see the parking brake is disconnected. I will tell you this, before you deactivate the parking brake, make sure that you put a piece of wood or something underneath the front wheel to keep the vehicle from rolling, because once this is deactivated, the parking brake is not going to hold, so make sure you block off the front wheels. All right, we're going to take out this bolt here. This is the 14 millimeter. We're going to take out that 14 millimeter. We're going to pull the caliper assembly off and put it to the side. If you were changing the rotors, which we are not doing, you would then come in here and you take out this bolt here, and then one more down on the bottom, which is the exact same position on the bottom. You would come in here and remove that screw and that screw. And then once you have the caliper off and you have the bracket off, then you would just pull the rotor off, and then you would still reinstall the new one. But as I said, we're not doing that here today. All right, so let's get in there and let's do what we are doing. These two bolts here, we're going to take out first. Okay, so these are the first two bolts we're going to take out now. We're going to take out this 14 millimeter and this one. We're not going to take them out until we're ready, until we have both of them broken loose. So let's break that loose first. Let's break this one loose here as well. And now once they're both loose, we can then take them out so we can remove that caliper from the vehicle. All right, just like that. Let's turn these lights off. I don't think we need these in here, so let's take these out. That looks pretty good. Okay, so now we're going to take the caliper off. If the caliper's stuck, you would just grab your little pry bar, put it in here like this, and just pry it. Just like that. And we can pull it off like this. Okay, now we're just going to take this for now. We're just going to leave it right up over here because we're going to come back to this in just a minute, okay? Okay, so now when we're ready to retract this piston, there is a special tool that they make that can go in here to turn this piston back in. I don't have it here at home with me. I have it down at the shop. But we're going to turn this piston back in using just a pair of needle nose pliers, just like this. Now we're going to take this scribe right here, and we're going to go underneath the bottom right here. You see there's a little rubber washer, or I should say a dust seal, right here. We're just going to put the scribe underneath that dust seal. See right here, that seal? And we're not going to take it off. We're just going to make sure we turn like that, just so that we make sure that when we turn that piston back in, that boot doesn't twist. Okay, so now that we know that that dust seal is loose, we'll take our pliers, put them in there like this, and we're going to turn this until it's all the way in. I will tell you this, it's not really that difficult. Once you get it started, it turns pretty easily. So let's turn it in, and we'll get started. Okay, so once we have it turned all the way in, we're just going to bring it back to where this started out, and then this is finished for now. We're just going to leave this right here, and now we're going to take out these pieces right here, these little slide pins. We're going to take it out, we're going to wipe them off, and then we're going to put a little bit of lubricant right on here. One thing I will point out to you, you don't want to put a lot of grease past that rubber ring right there, okay? Remember, you don't need a lot, you just have a tiny little bit, just like that. Okay, put it back in, push it and turn it, and you'll see it pops in, just like that. Slides nice and easy. Same thing on this one here. We're going to hold the boot back, pull it out, just like that. Wipe off the grease. Okay. Okay, just like that. Okay, then put this in and slide it all the way in until it pops in place and it's in all the way. All right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab that pry bar that we previously used, take out these spreader clips right here, hold on to them because they will go flying. We're not going to need them, but if you leave them laying on the ground, you could run it over and get a flat tire. Take these out. Okay. Take our brake pad out. Okay. Same thing with this one. Just take it out just like that. And you can see it was really pretty close down to the indicator. This is the indicator, and that's the pad. All right? Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to take out these clips right here. Just get in here with a screwdriver, pry it down, and they come right out just like that. Same thing on the bottom one, just like that, and take it out. Now, if there's a lot of rust in this area right here or up inside here, you'll need to clean it up with a with some sandpaper or a file or something like that. But these are pretty clean, so we don't have to worry about that. Now, a lot of people don't lubricate these, but sometimes it's a good idea just to put a little lubricant down on the bottom in here where it's going to sit down inside there. You don't need a lot, just a tiny little bit, okay? Okay, and then we'll take this, like that, put it in here, push it down, just like that, all the way down, and then those little clips down at the bottom, these little clips right here, we're going to push those flat so it actually holds in there nice and tight, and the way you do it is just like this. Okay? Alright, we'll do the exact same thing on this one right here. Just a little bit of lubricant. Just like that. As I said, you don't need a lot, just a tiny bit. Put it in here like that. Push it up. And again, we're going to take our tool. Now, if you have a pry bar, great. If not, a screwdriver does the exact same thing. Alright? And that's in just the way it's supposed to be. Alright? Next, we're going to take our brake pads, and we're going to look at the pads. This pad here with the indicator, that was our inner pad. You can see right here, that was the inner pad. So this one does not have the indicator on it, so this one is not the one we're using, okay? But this one has the indicator in the same location, so this is the one we're going to use. Alright, we're going to put a little bit of lubricant on here, and then we're going to put it into the bracket. Remember, we're only using a tiny little bit. We don't need a lot, just a little bit. Okay? Same thing on the other pad here. Okay? Rub it in. So that's on the corners, all the way around. Do the same thing on this one here. Just like that. Okay? And now we'll take our brake pad. Remember, the one with the indicator was the one on the inside. So let's put that on the inside and push it in place. Okay, just like that. We're going to take our outer brake pad, same exact thing. Just put it in here like this. Take it, turn it in just like that. Okay, so that's that. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to put our spreader clips in. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to come in here, and every place that the brake pad is going to touch, we're going to put a tiny little bit of silicone. I'll put it on there first, and then I'll show you what I mean. Just like that. You don't need a lot. You just put a little lubricant on there just like that. A little bit right here, and a little bit right there. And that's it. That's all you need on there. Okay? Alright, so let's get our slide pins now. Let's put our slide pins in. Now, when you're putting this back together, you do have to be careful, because when you put these pins, these spreader clips on there, it has a tendency to pull the brake pads open. So when you put it on, you're going to need to hold it closed so that it doesn't push out and cause a brake pad to pop out. Okay, just like that. We're going to take our next spreader clip, put it in here, in that tiny little hole there, and we're going to push this right in there and push it in just like that. Okay, and that's what the spreader clips look like when they're installed, and you have to hold them. Alright, now we're holding it. Take our caliper, put our caliper over the top just like this. Make sure your spreaders don't fall out. Slide it over the top, and that's it. Caliper's in. Let's grab our two bolts. Let's catch them in there. We're going to not tighten them in tight. We're just going to catch them by a couple of threads, just like that. We'll grab our second one now, and we'll do the exact same thing on the second one. Screw it in there, just like that. We'll grab our ratchet, and tighten up our 14 millimeter. Okay, we're going to tighten it up. Now, if you're in here with your 14 millimeter and this pin here is spinning, that's when you would come in here with your 17 millimeter and you would hold it like that so that it doesn't rotate, just like that. All right, let's tighten up our bottom one. Now you can see the bottom one is starting to rotate there, so we'll do the exact same thing. Turn it in, snug it up. Okay, and that's it. All right, so that's it. Okay, so before we go inside now, we deactivate the parking brake mode, or the service mode, I should say. We're just going to go over what we did. We tightened up these two 14 millimeter bolts right here. We held this with the 17 millimeter so it didn't rotate. We made sure our hardware is in. We made sure that it's lubricated everywhere that the brake pad is going to touch, both on the new hardware and on the old previous caliper itself where we removed it from. All right, top and bottom. We made sure that our spreader clips are in position, and that's it. This thing is finished, ready to go. Now, before we do anything else over here, we're going to go inside and we're going to turn off that service mode. All right, so let's go inside and I'll show you. Now, this, as you can see, it turns. Okay, so we know we're still in service mode. Let's go inside and take it out of service mode. Okay, so now we're going to go back into the vehicle. We're going to put our key back in the ignition. We're going to put our foot on the parking brake. Now, as you can see, we turn the key on, and we're still in parking brake retraction mode or parking brake service mode. You see that light is lit? So we know that it's blinking. We're still in the, let's close that door too. We know we're still in the retracted mode. All right, so next thing we do is we go down and apply the parking brake, and we'll need to do that 3 times. So here comes 1 time. You can hear it turning. Okay, then we're going to turn it off. Foot on the brake, of course. Take it off. Put it on. Take it off. Put it on. And now we should be out of the service mode. Here we go. All right, and that's it. It's out of service mode, and we're ready to put the wheel on, and then take it for a test drive. All right, so let's leave the parking brake on. I'll go outside, and I'll show you what I mean about the parking brake being applied. Let's turn it off, and let's go outside. All right, so you can see we can't turn it, so we know that the parking brake is now applied the way it's supposed to be. All right, let's put the wheels on, and we're going to make sure it's okay, which I'm sure it is. All right, so as you can see, doing this brake job is fairly simple. It's just like any other brake job. Once you retract that parking brake, it's fairly simple. It's really not that difficult. Don't play around going in there with wiring and trying to bring power into that motor to get it to retract. Go out and spend a few bucks, get that correct tool. You'll be very happy that you did. Not only will it retract the parking brake, you can diagnose any other function inside the car. It has multiple uses for it. It does do it for American and foreign as well as European. So, think about investing in that tool. It is down in my Amazon store below. I put it in there years ago. I don't even remember what it cost me at the time, but it's in my store, so you check it out and see if it suits your needs. And as you know, I make a small commission from anything that's sold in my Amazon store, just so you know. And that's it. We are ready to throw the wheel on, take it for road test, and then we're off and on to the next one. All right, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.